Meeting of July 6, 2021. Lena, would you read the roll?
Stevens.
Here.
Stocker.
Here.
Bowling.
Here.
Crombie.
Here.
Jacobs.
Here.
Yogesh.
Here.
And McElroy.
Here.
Right, and that's the 7.
7. So we have 7 of our 8 members. So we have a legal meeting. So we will move ahead, and I will ask you to rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we're on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move to approve.
Thank you. And second. So now I would ordinarily ask you to vote, but we have had a public comment came in through the SurveyMonkey tool relating to an item that is related to the minutes of the meeting. So we need to do that. Now, Don McDermott, do you see John Davies?
Yes, he is here.
Okay, so I don't see him. So I want to know that he's here, that he's listening to me. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start by reading the item that he's concerned about, what's in the minutes. You maybe have it in front of you, but maybe you don't. Then I'm going to read his comments to you. Then I'm going to comment on his comments. And then John has asked to speak with us. And so I will at that point ask Don to make him able to talk with us, and then we'll deal with that item. So his item, if you're following your minutes, has to do with the item from our last meeting, the actions that came on the Plan Commission. It's 6DA. And here's what it says in the minutes that are before you this evening for approval. Resolution approving a preliminary plat for Token Creek Serenity Estates contains 39 residential lots and 3 outlots on approximately 35.22 acres of land located south of the Token Creek and north of Stonehaven Drive. And it says then in your minutes, Alder Crombie provided an overview of the item. John Davies spoke in opposition to the item. So then the initial motion that was made by Alder Stevens, seconded by Alder Stocker, motion to approve resolution approving a preliminary plat of Tokens Creek Serenity Estates contains 30, mind you, it says 30 in the motion, 30 lots and 3 outlots of approximately 35.22 acres of land located south of Token Creek and north of Stonehaven. Then, if you recall, we had discussion, and in that discussion, we decided we did not want to take action. We wanted to delay this, postpone it, until we had some other information. That was Scott Kugler advising us about that. Scott is with us now and can comment on this, but I think, Scott, I've got it all here. Let me take a pass at this because it gets a little complicated. So the initial motion made by Alder Stevens then goes away because we now had a motion to postpone. And so that second motion is Alder Stevens made, Alder Stocker seconded, motion to postpone until July 20th, 2021 Common Council meeting. And then that passed by a vote of, well, it was all ayes, and I think all 8 council members were there. So all 8 people. Now, let me read to you what John Davies' comments in the SurveyMonkey were. So his name was John Davies. He lives on Stonehaven Drive. His question is on the consent agenda. And in item 4 of the Survey Monkey, it says, please enter your comment to be placed in the record. And this is what John says. The minutes for the previous meeting, which is the ones I just read to you, I believe that's from the 15th, June 15th, contain one inaccuracy and one omission related to the minutes in section DA. That's what I just read to you. The inaccuracy is the first motion representing the Serenity Estates development as only 30 parcels, should be 39. The omission is the fact that the council considered and approved the motion to change the zoning classification of the annexed parcel that is proposed to become Serenity Estates. The omission has to do with the zoning classification change from ag holding to residential, which was passed by the council. The second agenda item for June 15th, approval of the preliminary plat, was the topic of my opposition. So here's what I want to say to you, is while the motion said 30 parcels, the resolution said 39 and the action was on it. But that motion went away anyway, because then there was a motion to postpone that was approved. So the motion referring to 30 lots is gone, just doesn't exist. So that's not an error, it just went away. It would have been an error if it stood, but it was referring to the resolution, which itself was correct. Then the omission has to do, this is John's words again, the omission has to do with the rezoning from ag holding to residential. So Scott Kugler and I have been emailing on this in the course of your committee of the whole meeting. That's why I had my camera off. And Scott says that was approved, the zoning change was approved in the consent agenda on the evening of, again, June 15th, I believe that is. So that was already disposed of. The zoning you had already approved from ag to residential by the time we got to the report from the Plan Commission and took action on that. So it isn't an omission. It isn't an omission. It was just already done, and there was no need for action when we got into this in 6DA. And in fact, it's not even mentioned in 6DA. So the item that John is concerned about is going to come back to you on July 20th. You postponed it to July 20th, and it's going to come back to you. And that's the one that John is concerned about. But the zoning change you already approved and has already been made. And the item that you're going to see on July 20th is the approval of the preliminary plat. And that's where we stopped. So at this point, Don, I would like then to give John the opportunity to make his comments. As he's coming on, I do want to remind him, though, that I will give him the opportunity on July 20th, when the preliminary plat comes back to you for approval, to comment on it at that time. So I would ask that he not devote much time to telling us of his opposition to that. We heard it at our last meeting, and we will have the chance to hear it again. So, John, I've still not seen you, but I maybe not seen everybody on the screen. If you're out there and wish to make your comments, please do so at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Council. Thank you very much for that explanation. It was my oversight and mistake in not seeing the June 15th meeting consent item addressing the rezoning of the parcel. So thank you for pointing that out. I see that if I had paid closer attention to the agenda minutes, I would have caught that and not submitted my my concern there. So I'm all good with that one. And thank you for explaining the 30 and 39 basically going away because it was superseded by the second motion. I had believed that that typographical error was likely just the cause of that and wanted to call it out since that was a document of record for the city. I'll save all my comments related to the development and the plat for the next meeting. I'm complete. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, John. All right, so now we have a motion and a second on the consent agenda. Now we're ready to vote on this. So all in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay.
Aye.
And there are none. So now I've got all these sheets of paper in front of me. Let me get back to where we are. So here, now we're back to petitions and communications, citizen appearances and public comment. And the only public comment we had was John Davies, and we have taken care of that. So now we're on to business of the mayor, and I have two things I wish to say this evening. They're on a similar topic. And if you recall, when we met in our meeting on June 15th, I talked about Jennifer Wood leaving. Now I tonight want to talk about, first of all, Connie DeKemper leaving us. Her last day with the city will be on July 16th. Connie joined the city in 2014, so she's been with us 7 years. I have enjoyed working with Connie, but it's not only, I'm sad about this, not only because I've enjoyed being with her, but I have confidence in her, what she says and what she does. And when she says something, I listen and I pay attention to. I have appreciated her skill at that, her ability to handle a lot of different areas. She's taken on a lot of responsibility, and her professionalism. She is going, and Connie, I looked this up when Aaron first told me you were leaving. I think the county you're going to in Arizona is the one that Prescott and Sedona are in. And there's two things I want to say about that. One is, that's a beautiful area. I've seen it over the years a few times, and I've always been impressed with it. So that's one thing. But the other thing, in the newspaper this morning, they were talking about the congressman that represents that district as being much different than Mark Pocan here in Dane County. So I'm not asking you to comment on your political affiliation, but from the sounds of it, you're going to a much different place than you're living here. The weather might be good. I checked that out to see if that was a reason to leave. And well, it might be milder in the winter. They definitely have a winter in that area as well. But I want to say to you, Connie, and what I want to say to you is that you're leaving with our best wishes. It has been a pleasure having you in the city. We'll miss you. Your reasons for going make perfect sense, and all the reasons in the world. So you're going with our best wishes. Thank you for your time here in the city, Connie.
Thank you.
If you'd like to say something, Connie, you can, but you don't need to. That wasn't intending for you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not my forte.
No, I know, and I don't want to encourage that in itself. The other person that is leaving is Philip Gritzmacher. Philip has been with us, I think, Aaron, about 3 years. I didn't ask you for his date of hire. He leaves on June 14th, so he's a couple of days before Connie. And as you're all remembering, he's going to the city of Madison, and transportation matters, transportation planner, that's probably the title, Aaron. So Philip, we will not lose out of our lives. We undoubtedly will have interaction. In fact, that's not all bad for Sun Prairie. Don't tell the mayor and Tom Lynch in Madison that I said this, but there is actually probably some positives that Philip will be there, because Philip knows how passionate we are about transportation in Sun Prairie and eager we are to develop a relationship with Metro Transit in the city of Madison. And so maybe he can carry that message forward into the heart of the city. But I definitely will point out to the mayor and Tom Lynch that, this isn't fair play. Because I've liked Phil. I have a lot of confidence in him. If Al Guyant were here, I'm sure he'd be jumping up and down telling us how great Philip is, and I know Aaron feels that same way. So we'll miss Philip, but not in the same way. We are sure to see him. And I'm hoping this is the end, that, it's certainly an unsettled market. Not only we think a lot of real estate, but also a lot in employment. And so we have people going other places for reasons in their life and opportunities. And so I'm not sad that I don't feel the city is remiss that Connie and Philip are leaving. I'm just sad we won't have the benefit of their personalities and services. All right. And so our agenda this evening is not very complicated. The next item we move on to is the Committee of the Whole. And Steve Stocker, you've got one, well, I guess two items on, or three items. I
Three
should
items.
minimize this, sure, excuse me.
Three items.
Please,
Yeah.
take over, would you please, Steve?
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. First item is the resolution regarding partial return to in-person attendance at meetings, transitional phase reopening in-person attendance to members and allowing virtual attendance by members and the public. On July 6, 2021, the council met to approve the return to in-person meetings and allow the public to come in for the time being virtually. And with that software and hardware being in place now, this will be an environment that will at first only be allowed in the council chambers. So it will not be, if committees and other commissions have meetings outside the council chambers, this will not be available to them until a future date. So I know a lot of them were waiting to see how council operated and then move to that, but there will be some restrictions until we can get everything in place. So council voted to approve this, and I would like to make a motion that this body approves that also.
McElroy
Jacobs,
seconds.
So Terry McElroy seconds. Now we're into discussion on that first motion. Is there any discussion? I see none, Elena. Let's get the roll.
Stevens,
Aye.
Thacker,
Aye.
Bowling,
Aye.
Crombie,
Aye.
Jacobs,
Aye.
Yokish,
Aye.
McElroy.
Aye.
And that passes 7-0.
Okay, next item. On July 6, 2021, the council also met to approve a resolution adopting rules for governing electronic meetings and virtual attendance at meetings. With the return to in-person, we also discussed the virtual aspect. In other words, we can call it hybrid meetings. I think that's the term we've been using. And the council voted to approve this resolution adopting these rules. And I would like to make a motion for this body to also recommend the approval.
And I'll second it.
We're into discussion. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's get the roll.
Stevens,
Aye.
Thacker,
Aye.
Bowling,
Aye.
Crombie,
Aye.
Jacobs,
Aye.
Yokish,
Aye.
McElroy.
Aye.
And that passes 7-0.
Okay, thank you. And the last item is the council or committee of the whole met on July 6, 2021 to approve an ordinance amending section 2.08.140B, duties, renumbering existing section 2.08.230 to section 2.08.240, suspension of rules and creating a new section 2.08.230, rules of procedure. And again, this is the changes that were needed to council and committee to meet in person and virtually. In other words, the hybrid approach. And this was unanimously approved. And I would like to make a motion to present this for approval to this body.
Even seconds.
So we're into discussion. Is there any discussion on this item? I see none. Let's get the vote.
Stevens,
Aye.
Thacker,
Aye.
Bowling,
Aye.
Crombie,
Aye.
Jacobs,
Aye.
Yokish,
Aye.
McElroy.
Aye.
And that passes 7-0.
All right, well done, Steve.
No,
So
thank
that
you.
means we can attend in person on July 20th. But Aaron, if somebody were opposed to that, or were not in the city, they could attend by virtual means?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor.
All right, so that's our method going forward. Well, I'm looking forward to doing it in person on the 20th. I can't believe, I wonder if we knew this last March of 2020, if we would have ever thought we would go, what is that, 13, 14, or more than that months. Would have never thought of it, I bet. What we knew in March of 2020, how much of that was just simply inaccurate. All right, well, I'm just wasting your time now. Let's move on with the rest of this agenda, of which there is nothing. So we are all the way down to referrals. Referrals to the committee of the whole. Are there any referrals? I see nothing. How about announcements? Anybody have announcements they want to make? No one. Tina, bowling.
Yes. I just want to put a reminder out there that there will be a special election on July 13th, 2021 to fill the vacancy with the Dane County Board of Supervisors, District 19. And a special election encompasses wards 7 through 9 and 14 through 19. And then it is a www.wi.gov website, just to look up their name, where they live, should they, address to see if they're in that voting ward. And then the reason why I wanted to put this reminder out there, and thank you, Elena, for your assistance on this, is that we have consolidated to one polling place for this election, and that it'll be at City Hall located at 300 East Main Street in the community room on the main floor. And in-person absentee voting will be offered until 5 p.m. on Friday, July 9th. That would be all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tina. Thank you. Yeah, Steve?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. For those of you that will be traveling Main Street and Bird, I believe the demolition of McGovern's begins, and Scott, if he's on, he could back me up on this. I think it begins around July 9th. So I think that's next Friday or so. Actually, this Friday. So if you're driving in that area, watch for heavy traffic or heavy machinery dropping that building.
Can't think that's a big project, Steve.
Yeah.
A building had seen its better years. A comment, Maureen? Or
Yes, I
announcement?
just have one. I have one oh, am I not? Oh,
You're
I have
on.
one announcement, and it's state related. The Milwaukee Bucks are playing tonight at 8:00 for the championship, the first game of the championship game. I just had to put that in there because it's so exciting that the Bucks are in the championship game. So, and that's state related. So, and city.
All right. Good deal. Anything else for announcements?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank
Thank
you.